You lied to yourself again. You said you'd start tomorrow. You always say tomorrow. Here you are again, scrolling past the fitness posts, past the success stories, past everyone who looks like they figured it out. You double tap their photos like you're praying to gods you don't believe in, hoping their discipline will somehow transfer through the screen into your hollow chest, but it won't. You know it won't. Because this is what you do. This is your ritual. You consume other people's transformations like their medicine, but you never swallow. You just let the taste sit on your tongue until it turns bitter. Then you spit it out and reach for something else to numb the ache. You tell yourself you're researching, planning, getting inspired. You're lying. You're hiding in the preparation phase because the preparation phase feels like progress. Without the discomfort of actual progress, you download the apps, you bookmark the articles, you screenshot the meal plans and the workout routines and the morning rituals of people who wake up at 5 a.m. like it's some kind of religious devotion. Your phone is a graveyard of good intentions. Every Sunday, you perform the same ceremony. You sit down with your journal or your notes app, or whatever digital altar you've built to your future self, and you write the same promises with slightly different words. This week will be different. This time, I'm serious. I'm done making excuses. The words feel so clean when you write them, so possible, so inevitable. Monday comes and you hit snooze 3 times. You tell yourself it's okay, you'll start fresh tomorrow. Tuesday comes and you eat lunch from a vending machine. You tell yourself stress is temporary. You'll meal prep this weekend. Wednesday comes and you're too tired for the gym. You tell yourself rest is productive too. By Thursday, you've convinced yourself that starting midweek is inefficient anyway. Better to begin Monday. I know, because I've been you. I know the specific weight of disappointment that sits in your stomach when you catch your reflection doing something you promised you'd stop doing. I know how you practice conversations in the mirror about how much you've changed, even though you know they're rehearsals for a play that will never open. I know how you scroll through old photos of yourself and feel like you're looking at someone else's life. Someone who had potential. Someone who could have been something.
I know what your problem is.
You think change is supposed to feel like inspiration? You think transformation is supposed to arrive like a lightning bolt, complete with soundtrack and slow-motion montage. You're waiting for the moment when discipline feels easy. When healthy choices feel natural. When the person you want to be finally wants to exist more than the person you are wants to hide. That moment doesn't come. Change feels like dying. It's not the dramatic kind of dying they show in movies, the slow, suffocating kind. It feels like choking on your own excuses. It feels like sitting with discomfort until you stop calling it discomfort and start calling it Tuesday. You know this. Deep in the part of you that you've been running from, you know this. But instead of sitting with the dying, you perform CPR on your old life. You resuscitate your patterns with new names. You call procrastination strategic planning. You call avoidance self-care. You call giving up being realistic about your limitations. You've become fluent in the language of noble failure. Your mother calls and asks how you're doing, and you tell her you're good. You're working on yourself. You're in a growth phase. She hears something in your voice that sounds like progress, so she doesn't push. She's proud of you for trying, but you're not trying. You're performing trying for an audience of one yourself, and even you can see through the act. At work, you nod along when your colleagues complain about their habits, their routines, their inability to stick to anything. You offer sympathy and solidarity. You share articles about self-compassion and the importance of small steps. You become an expert in the theory of change while remaining a beginner in the practice. You give advice you don't take to people who don't need it from someone who doesn't follow it. The cruelest part isn't the lying. It's how good you've gotten at it. You lie with such precision now, such artistry. You craft excuses that sound like wisdom. You frame your stagnation as mindfulness, your fear as caution, your comfort zone as self-acceptance. You've turned betrayal into a performance art. But here's what I learned in the space between promise and betrayal, between intention and reality, between who I said I'd be and who I actually am. You're not broken. You're not lacking willpower or discipline or whatever other mythical quality you think separates you from the people whose lives you envy. You're not cursed with bad genetics or a slow metabolism or an addictive personality or any of the other stories you tell yourself about why change is harder for you than it is for everyone else. You're just afraid. Afraid of who you might become if you stopped hiding behind who you've been. Afraid of success because success means responsibility. Afraid of failure because failure means you can't blame your circumstances anymore. Afraid of change because change means admitting that the life you've been defending isn't worth defending. And that fear, it's that trembling, nauseating, throat-closing fear. It's not going anywhere. The people you think have it figured out, they feel it too. They just do the thing anyway. It's not because they're brave, but because they're tired of being afraid more than they're tired of being uncomfortable. They don't wake up motivated. They wake up and do it anyway. They don't feel like going to the gym. They go anyway. They don't want to have the difficult conversation. They have it anyway. This is the twist, the realization that feels like a punch. You've been waiting for the fear to leave so you can start living. But the fear doesn't leave. The fear is the admission price to the life you want. The fear is how you know you're pointing in the right direction. You don't overcome fear. You carry it with you like a weight that makes you stronger. A companion that keeps you honest. A reminder that what you're doing matters enough to be scary. So here's your cold, gentle truth. Tomorrow, you'll have the same choice you had today. And the day after that, you'll have it again. There is no final decision, no moment of permanent transformation, no switch that stays flipped once you flip it. There's just tomorrow's choice, and the day after tomorrow's choice, and the choice after that. Change isn't an event, it's a practice. A daily practice of choosing discomfort over comfort, truth over story, becoming over being. It won't feel good, but it will feel real, and maybe that's enough. Maybe real is enough. The fear is still there. The choice is still yours. Tomorrow is still tomorrow.